They didn't play well. I mean, it's simple as that. I think they got away with an okay performance against Bosnia just because they're better, but they didn't play well last night. I mean, simple as that. I mean, Belgium outplayed them. They can do all the little snarky tweaks all you want. You can do snarky tweaks, too, by showing, pictures of Pat, and I'm glad you're not speaking German. So, you could do things like that. But this whole thing, it advanced the sport in the country. I thought they could get to the 8 when the thing began.
That was the thought. Right. If they can get to the quarterfinals, it's a success.
Right. And so they advanced the sport. It was an exciting month. They made it an exciting month. In the end, the last one was a dud.
There are levels to any sport, as we've talked about. And at some point, you face a team who's just better than you. And Belgium is a better team than the U.S. I know people talk about, but we're ranked 17th. We're one of the best teams in the world. Yeah, but Belgium's better. And it's an exponential growth. When you get to a certain place in the world rankings, like, let's say the U.S. is 17th, probably 17th to 12th and down to 24, they're all in the same group of level. If you get into the 11s and the 10s and the single digits, all of a sudden you're facing teams like Belgium, for instance, who, because of how they had played in the last game, are able to bring Kevin De Bruyne and Jeremy Doku off the bench. Jeremy Doku is one of the best young wingers in the world. Kevin De Bruyne is one of the best midfielders of the past 15 years. And they can be like, we're going to bring them off the bench. And Romelu Lukaku, who hasn't played well the past year for his club side, but he's still one of the better strikers in the world. And they can bring them off the bench just casually. And the U.S. can't do that. There are levels to these things, and the U.S. faced a team who was better than them. It helps Belgium that the U.S. played awfully, that there was no good performance on the pitch. I think Malik Tillman was okay, but outside of him, even he couldn't give you a positive.
And he was just okay. Look, you have to, and I pointed this out yesterday at the end of the show. I said, remember, when they played a friendly back in March, Belgium won 5-2.
Yeah, it was bad.
It wasn't great. My problem with Belgium is all the whining, moaning, and complaining going in. For goodness sakes. Right? I mean, there's been too much complaining about this stuff. And Belgium was okay. He actually didn't appear to be affected by anything. He was fine, but they just couldn't get anybody open. Pulisic didn't play well at all. But Belgium has a world-class goalkeeper. I mean, world-class goalkeeper. You knew going in that was an advantage. And then, look, the play Freeze made was just terrible. I mean, it's just a terrible play.
The second goal Belgium scored, where it's right after the U.S. All three players sit there and let the ball just drop.
I mean, but I go back to the last matchup of the group stage with Turkey. They played the same way on the winning goal. I mean, you've got to be able. I mean, this, a lot of jogging out there. You're playing in the World Cup, which to me is like attention to detail has to be. And I thought Belgium's attention to detail was outstanding.
The U.S.
And they played great. I mean, the team that was supposed to win last night won. They were the better team. There's just I just can't stomach the whining, moaning, and complaining, and the little snarkiness and things like that. Just knock it off. The guy never should have had the red card to begin with.
No, should have been a yellow, and that was the end of it. Whatever.
Enough. But it's like, so the right decision is made in the end, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is terrible, awful, incredible." And of course, our media, never defend. Okay, the U.S. gets backhanded a lot, right? And because people enjoy backhanding in this country, they enjoy it, right? And there have been incidents on a world stage where the U.S. absolutely got. You have to be kidding me. And when I bring that up, I bring up the 72 Olympics with the U.S. basketball team. Oh, well, that was a long time ago. I said, really? I said, I said, so when you've talked to Doug Collins, have you, well, I've never met Doug Collins. I said, well, I've talked to Doug. I said, not a few times, a lot. Okay? Right? He's still alive. Right? And guess what? The silver medal sits in Switzerland. It's in their wills. It is not to be taken out by a family member at all. It's in the will. It is not to be touched. Right? Because they thoroughly, completely got ripped off. Okay, ripped off. And they aren't the only ones over time. Okay? So the U.S. gets a break on a bad call to begin with. And you've got people like, well, this is the, just knock it off. Right? I mean, I'm sick and tired of the, right? If it were egregious and he deserved a red card and was reinstated, I'd be the first one to say he should not play. Okay? But it wasn't. Right? They made it up as they went. There was no call on the field. Right? And then they go to VAR and like, well, it's like, what are you doing?
May I? So I wish I was here yesterday to talk about this because I was very excited to discuss this whole topic here. And it's still kind of being talked about today. Of course, we're talking about it right now. Firstly, now you see whenever I say VAR is terrible, now you see why, Steve Jones. Now you see what I talk about, which is the re-refereeing of football. It is constant. It happens in every match. It is a problem and an issue. And it finally reared its ugly head in a major way with the U.S. to where it was on the world stage at that point. In the group stages, it was a big issue at certain points. But in the round of 32, all of a sudden it's a monster problem because the U.S. loses their striker in the match. It happens. We go from there. We move on. I do not believe Balogun should have been reinstated. And my reasoning is it's never been done before. It's also a crazy thing to have happen. And if they were going to re-referee that and give him unsuspend him, they should have suspended other players for other challenges they've made. And that has not happened.
But Ronaldo played.
But my point is,
Ronaldo played. Ronaldo should have been suspended for the first two matches of the group stage.
I know he should have.
I'm just telling you, it's not unprecedented.
Truthfully, that would have helped Portugal, but it did not. So all of this to be said, I think FIFA is very lucky the U.S. lost this, because if the U.S. had won and Belgium had lost, this would have been a even bigger issue, an even bigger talking point, because it would have been a story that, like, today it's going to be the final day of it being talked about, but if it had gone on until tomorrow and the next round, all of a sudden it's like, well, he shouldn't have been playing in the first place, and Belgium would have really made us think about this, and this would have been a real issue.
Well, first of all, I've been consistent about this. As you know. I know. No, I'm talking about consistent in a different way. For the last 3-4 years, I've said that targeting in college football, okay, and the absurdity of if it happens in the second half of a game, you have to miss the first half of the next game. I've said consistently that on Monday, the conference should review all targetings that were called on the weekend in a conference game. You can't do it in a non-con, but in a conference game to determine whether A, it really was correct, and B, if it really was egregious to warrant a suspension. I've said that.
Yeah.
So there's no inconsistency as to how I look at this as opposed to how I've already talked about that in an American sport here. Because right now it's an automatic where you get suspended. I mean, Cam Brown played in a bowl game, played in the Outback Bowl, was called for targeting on the sideline, had to miss the first half of the opening game the next season. Like, really? Like, we have to serve this how many months later? I mean, so I've talked about if you're going to have the use of video, you need to get people in a room and say, okay, let's all talk about this for a second. Okay? I've seen targetings where they hit the shoulder pad.
Can I give the example that
I have not, there's no inconsistency on my part. I felt the same way about this.
So I was with some friends watching the match when the U.S.-Bosnia game was going on, and they were asking why it was a red card, and I said, VAR and it has the statement of it's got to be a quote-unquote clear and obvious error to upgrade or change something. If it's a clear and obvious thing, to send the referee to the video or system review. That's how VAR works. Have clear and obvious. Clear and obvious is the exact same as asking the question, what is a catch? Right. What is a football move?
Right, exactly.
There's no one can tell you. It's the exact same thing. Where, like, it's guesswork.
I agree.
It's up to everybody's opinion.
That's a good point.
And it's the same thing. So to all the U.S. fans out there saying, well, it wasn't clear and obvious, it's the same as what is a catch and what is a football move.
Right.
And like that's just the problem with it.
Yeah.
There is no definition of what it is. It has been a problem with VAR for years. It's a problem with catches for years. We've seen it all the time with what is football move. Does a twist upfield, is that a football move? Oh, only had half a step, so it doesn't really count. And it's just like, there's issues and there's inconsistencies. So the game happened. It is wrapped up. I think the U.S. is also partially lucky. They lost to Belgium because they would have gotten torched by Spain.
Right. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.